this episode of Finno-Ugric Machining, we are going to drill holes into these workpieces, quite a lot of them, and then threading quite a few of them. In addition to this, we are going to make a bushing for this hole here. That will be one, and then, we glue those bushings in place. I decided to use glue instead of shrink fitting them, because shrink fitting, this is a rather large workpiece, and if I warm this up, gluing is easy to do. And then we have those top and bottom plates. Let's see if we have the time to start with those. It will be a very simple milling operation, but this one involves work holding issues, which I would like to show to you. Let's start with the drill. This time I'm using this, it's a rather flimsy vise. And why I'm using it is, the reason for this is to be able to repeat. The workpiece is put into there, but I will be using this, and I put it against, you see there is a little slot here. I put it against that and against the table, so now it's straight. And then I push this against my square and put the workpiece there, and hopefully, hopefully it is there. It is. For the accuracy we need here, now it's also tight. I will make the bushing before doing the very small oil holder. I already faced this. This is just some bronze stock I have, and there will be 20.3 millimeter outside and 16 millimeter inside, and I will bore it. I could probably use a reamer, but okay. No, it should be 20.3. Very exactly. It's 20.31. Yeah. It's a very nice fit, actually. Yep. well, let's find the corners now. Wow. I noticed that my spray can is almost empty, so we need to fill it. I need this stuff now, it's spray cleaner. I need to clean the parts before I glue them. So let's fill this. This is a sure shot thing and it's really practical. Okay, first you remove this protective cap here, and then, well, there is always some pressure inside, so you just loosen this even so little so that it there you go. Now it's no more pressurized. Okay, and then you need a funnel. It should be really clean because if you introduce dirt into there, that's really bad. Okay, and then this stuff, this is well, some Finnish brake cleaner, effective grease remover. What does it? Acetone, propan, and well, acetone and propan. Oh yeah, okay. So then we just fill it in. And you don't fill it all the way full. I need to check. At this point where we are, well, a little bit more, maybe. I usually fill this half the way through, so I have found out that that's very good. Then you have enough pressurized air there. I think we are there. Yes, feels good. Well, this is not at all exact science. And then we just put this thing back. Tighten it. Well, not very, only even so gently. Because, well, yeah. And then I have this kind of thing which I attach to the end of my air hose here. There you are. Done. And then you replace this, put this back here. Yeah, there you are. Now it's ready to go. Wow. Okay, in order to make the glue hold, you need to clean these. And this is just, you just put some brake cleaner there. Yes, and I cleaned this in advance so it doesn't contain oil. So that's one. They should dry out quite rapidly. Oh man, they are wet. Okay, let's try them out by brute force using towel. Now that hole should be clean enough. Okay, then we start. Start with this one, which is a little bit tighter. So, wow. And this glue cures quite rapidly. So you need to be, well, sure what you are doing. I apply a very thin layer of this stuff here inside the board and wipe my finger off from it. And then let's push this into there. Hopefully I can, yeah, it went very good. Into there. Wow, wow. Okay, there it is. This glue cures the faster, the thinner the layer is. And now, well, because that layer was really thin, it cured like in, well, in seconds. I was lucky enough to get it all the way through there. Yeah, okay. And then this one is a lot easier, I believe. Just put it there and then push it there. Feel my fingers that it's on place. This takes a little bit longer to cure. Not very much longer, but it takes a little bit longer. Well, it's already cured. Already there. Cannot get it out anymore. It's there. Okay, we have those. Very good. Yeah. Well, and this was Loctite 648. Well, now let's drill a hole for grilles. Well, I'm using this, it's quite long, well, 4mm drill. In the paper it states that the hole should be 2mm. Well, I have a 2mm drill, but that's so flimsy. I'm a little bit afraid of doing it here. So yeah, and I have cleaned this quite well. And then I just put my workpiece here about straight. There you are. And then the drill, and then try to chuck it. Okay. Yeah. And then I try to center it by eye. There. Then let's switch the drill on and check the speed. Well, we need some cutting oil here. Well, let's check the speed. Well, that's about right. And then, let's see how I can reach this one into the hole. I push it gently against the thing and see if it didn't start to wander. Good. Make a nice little dimple there. And now we go. Well, this drill doesn't feel sharp. Then it goes. Yeah, it goes. I think we need a little bit more speed. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, you can tell. So this is just for grilles. Okay, we are almost there. color changed. There you are. The hole is there. Wow. Okay. Well, now let's tap those M6 threads here. Well, first I have this spring-loaded center, which is in the center of the hole at the moment. So, and then I have this very interesting looking tap wrench here, which goes like there. Well, I can put it a little bit lower. There you are. Some cutting fluid. And then we just tap it. This is the first. And this is not a bottoming tap, this is a plug tap. And I have to be very sensitive not to put it too long. I think we are there. Now. And there we go. Wow, no resistance at all. Well, if you have a sharp tap, there is no problem with this. And this is a sharp tap. Really nice. These chamfering tools, this type, is very good for freehand chamfering, and that's exactly what I'm going to do here now. Like that, like that. Just removing, yeah, there you are. Well, now there is one more thing to do with these side stands before we can call it a day with those. This is of course this pin which has to be glued into that hole there. Okay, well, these are at the moment really clean. I have cleaned them thoroughly. Yeah, well, the reason for cleaning is that the glue won't like if there is oil. So now I apply some glue to this one, like that. Oh, wrong end. Oh yeah, you have to be really careful. Put this the wrong way around and you will never get it, well, not easily. Because this is quite tight fit as is already, and yeah, and I only put the glue on the pin, and now there is this high-speed steel bit under, so that it well, I push it quite fast there, like that. And now it's there. And of course now we have glue there under, but I have to wait for this glue to settle. Now, starting to work with the upper and lower blades, and these have a lot of burr. I don't want to introduce that to the milling machine, so first task is to get rid of this horrific burr. That's enough. The problem with these kind of workpieces is that it doesn't have any known surfaces. Well, all the surfaces, these surfaces have a milling scale on them. Wow. And the ends were like angle grinded and yeah. So the first task is to produce a known good surface. So here we go now. Now, that is a known good surface. Okay, now this workpiece is now turned around. The good known surface is under there. I have also parallels here. And now when I knock this, it is pretty consistent. It's touching everywhere, and these clamps are put in a way that they are a little bit over the 10 millimeter that size, so that they push it like this. Ideally this would be so that I push it on top of the parallel, but in this case, unfortunately that's not possible. I'm going to mill it a little bit over the halfway, and after I have done one side, I will actually turn this workpiece around. And now comes in play the known good surface. Because then if I clean everything well, it should be on the same level. So, and if I don't change anything else there, just turn the workpiece, I should get a perfect surface here. And then we go. Well, the surface finish, in a word, it's bad. Well, not completely bad, but it's not good. This is because of the milling scale. And, well, oh yeah, that's really, really horrific. Okay, now, this is now the other side of this workpiece, I decided to clamp it directly to the milling table, no parallels there under. Well, now it's possible since all the surface there under is totally flat. This time only one cutter, so I found out when I did this surface that this produces a very good surface. Furthermore, I'm feeding this only 20 millimeters per minute and I have increased the speed to 500 RPM. So I'm aiming to a very good surface finish because this is going to be the final finish here. We still have some milling scale here, but hopefully that's only at the start and end. So, well, yeah, let's see. Well, now it's time to get the dimension right. The width of this workpiece should be 50 millimeters. At the moment this is 60. So we need to take 5 millimeters from each side. Well, the plan is to take 4 millimeters by a roughing end mill on both sides and then finalize the cut with an ordinary 10 millimeter end mill to get a better surface finish. This one creates, well, as the name implies, it's a roughing end mill. So, yeah, I'm running this at the moment about 190 RPM and I'm feeding 50 millimeters per minute. So it's quite fast feed. Well, this end mill likes that kind of cut. So let's go. So the final climb cut here. And now I will measure it. Oh, there is quite a lot of burr. Well, I'm not going to measure the burr. Let's take this one first. Okay, this is 5.24, and here we have 5.24. So 0.24. Let's see. Oh. I already milled this side here. Well, it's quite good surface finish. And now what I have also got for free here is the location. Because this is a 10mm end mill, so I was able to set up my scales. Well, I need those this time because the length is 255 millimeters. I don't have a way to. I don't have a tool to measure it accurately, or do I? Yes, I do. Namely, this milling machine itself. So 255 plus 5. So that would be 260. Yeah, I already have set up the scales. 260. Wow, it's far away. So that should be our place. There you are. Well, how does it look? Looks really nice. Horrific burr. Last sanity check. Let's see now. This has this 0.5 millimeter scale, so yeah. To the best of my knowledge, it's exactly what it should be. Well, now, 4 holes in suitable places. Well, this is the first one. And this is a 6 millimeter drill. And, well, and then we need to change the drill. 10.5 millimeter. Well, this I have sharpened myself. Let's see how this goes. This I will feed manually because for some reason I don't trust my sharpening skills. And yeah, this is... I have to use 11 millimeter collet for this, and therefore, okay, yeah. Let's see now. Then I will feed this really manually. Well, then we need recesses for those M6. They are M6 bolts which go to there, and for that one we need an end mill. Low gear, and then the collet will be the same because the end mill should be 10.5, but I don't have that. Instead I have 10.3. Well, we need to change the collet. This shank is seems to be 12 millimeters. Really? Yeah. And this one we need a lot more speed. Well, it's 400. Let's see. That's okay. Now I'm trying to toss it. I would like to put a little bit more speed. This is carbide after all. And now, so 6.5, it's 4 turns and 1.5. Oh, okay. Oh. Well, although it's not in the document, I think we should chamfer especially this piece because this is a highly visible item and chamfer just makes it look nicer. Let's see now. So that was 1 millimeter after it had touched. Well, yeah, 1 millimeter is okay. Well, that was the final cut for this one. Well, a lot of deburring to do, and after that piece I need to, well, make an identical. But that one doesn't have chamfer. It doesn't have it's missing those 10.5 millimeter holes. Otherwise, it's identical. Yeah. Okay. Off the camera I made also the bottom piece here, and well, this is well, the frame is quite ready. Well, and this also concludes this episode of Finno Creek Machine. In the next episode we will be making well, the eccentrics. Well, there is some design work underway, but I believe I can do it now that I know how to do this. Furthermore, there has been a thing that I have been overlooking. In this type of manuals, when you have two rolls which rotate like this, these are almost always driven both, and I think I need to change the design a little bit. Not a lot, but a little bit. Well, it will be 4 more gears, but that's just gears. And maybe, well, I'll see how to do this. Okay, anyway, now, well, that will be in the next episode of Finno Creek Machine. And now, that pony, her name is now Lumi. There was a very nice suggestion of giving it a name Luna, which is, yeah, Italian, means moon. Luna di Cacciatori. Yeah, okay, she's not a hunter, so not that. Till next episode, bye!